Warning, this content may be upsetting or disturbing to some audiences. Today I found out my expiration date. 8 Dark Confessions of Reddit, try not to cry at the last one. So I ruined a marriage. I started seeing a married woman about a year and a half ago. I knew it was a bad idea, but I was lonely. I just wanted to be friends with benefits at first and wished that I'd stuck to my guns on that because I effed up and fell totally in love with her. Her husband is a very successful doctor. This is kind of important to the story, I think. After a certain amount of time I expressed to her that I wanted to be with her. She loved me, so she said, but said it was not possible. I'm in Turkey and her family is a prominent family, blah blah blah. All the Turkish girls I asked about this told me that if she loved me she'd leave him. Well, her husband got a job in Germany and she left. Okay, that's it, I thought. But I fell hard for her and I was just trying to get over my feelings and move on. I messaged her often. On New Year's I messaged her. She was really cold and cruel, saying that it's been so long and why haven't I gotten over her yet. I realized that I was just some failure nobody and that she'd never leave her successful husband for me, and I felt like less than nothing. This made me realize that she didn't give a fuck about me and she had moved on long ago. So, I told her husband. She's probably going to understand why I was hurting so much now. Because I have no family or anyone to support me, so I felt completely alone. She could not understand this because she had her husband and her supportive family, etc. I know it's shitty, but so is using someone and not caring about their feelings. That's it. I knew 5 famous YouTubers who turned out to be pedophiles. This was in 2014 to 2015. The laptop I had then got broken and I'm upset that I can't get these people to pay for the mental damage they've done to me, and my other underage friends. They were popular Minecraft YouTubers who I met through my friend, we will call him A. I was 14, and the YouTubers I believe at the time were 20 to 25. I was in a relationship with one of the YouTubers, we will call him J. My mother knew about this, and told me that this kind of relationship was okay as long as you're not using him for fame or money. She told me. The age difference was significant. I was 14 or 15, he was 20 plus. Me, A, J, my underage friends and a few other YouTubers would be in calls together. I'd be made to moan for them all. And this continued with other pedophiles I knew. I'll make another post about that story. I was in a relationship with Jay for a few months before he moved on to my younger friend. They preyed on us, and none of the people got in trouble. I don't think my friends at the time have spoken out. And I need someone to know. These YouTubers still post today. I wish my stepmother would miscarry her daughter. My father was and still is a terrible guy. I'll spare you the details, but suffice it to say that I suffered all 3 types of abuse at his hands. He along with his wife would do and say terrible things to me as a child and teenager. About a year ago, after coming of age, I made the decision to cut him out of my life completely. When I first began ignoring him, he was enraged and would constantly bombard me with messages, calls, and letters telling me how selfish and evil I was. Thankfully it now looks like he understands that I won't be baited into talking to him. A week ago I got a message from a family member via Instagram saying that his wife was pregnant and that it was a girl. I thanked my cousin for telling me, ended the conversation, and sobbed uncontrollably for about 2 hours. It makes me nauseous to think about all the suffering that child will likely endure. I found my mind wandering to the darkest places. I asked myself, at what age will she be called a fat slob? At what age will her father touch her breasts or butt? At what age will she start to think she's worthless, selfish, retarded, and evil? At what age will she have bruises from a disagreement with her parents? The only outcomes I could think for her life are negative. She'd either grow up just like her parents, end up leaving like I did, or become so downtrodden by the people who were supposed to love her that she just gives up. I weep for that child's life to be daily. Neither of them should be allowed around kids, let alone be allowed to have one of their own. I find myself wishing more than anything else that my father's wife would miscarry. Anything, fall down the stairs, have a bleed, get an infection. I don't care. Whatever pain she receives from it will be well deserved. It'd save an innocent child from a very sad and unfair life. People might think I'm horrible for wishing someone would lose their baby, they can think that. Walk a mile in my shoes and then see if you say the same thing. I will be hoping that my half-sister dies until the moment she is born. Killmonger said it best when he said death is better than bondage. I told my very sick mother she should kill herself. I'm not here looking for forgiveness or validation. That may only be because of how this ends, but the words were said and hiding it feels wrong. My mother has been sick for what seems like my whole life. As each year passes, her condition worsens and her quality of life diminishes to levels nobody should ever be subjected to. At this point, she's been stuck in a bed for almost 3 years. Before that, it was very difficult for her to move for 5+ years. My family, both immediate and extended, have been involved in caring for her over the last 15 years. We all care for her, but there is a point where the burden of caring for someone who is trapped in a cycle of 1 step forward, 2 steps back becomes unbearable. Things like dating in high school, getting a job, and moving out were all non-existent or majorly delayed for my siblings and I, because of the need for us to be around to help her. She has noted this at multiple times, and it seems she is blaming herself for us not having normal lives. She's not entirely wrong, but it's not something we are really concerned with. I really wonder if this isn't part of what our reasoning was. My mom has had many spells since being stuck in bed where she threatens to kill herself. She has the ability to do so with the medication she is prescribed. Practically any option you can think of is available. We all tell her how she's wrong. We tell her she has a family that cares for her. We tell her she is stronger than she thinks and should keep fighting. During her most recent freakout, I agreed. I've always been one to say that people should be able to make this type of decision, provided that they are in a state they cannot recover from and their quality of life has diminished to a certain degree. Why not? Would I really want to keep living if I were in her condition? No. So my mom asked me when nobody else was around, why shouldn't I do it? My response, maybe you should. If you do, I'm not going to be upset with you. I'm not going to say you have a reason not to anymore. We've told you to keep fighting and you've only gotten worse. If you do it, I'll be happy for you not being in pain anymore. If you don't do it, I'll be happy to see you tomorrow. At this point, I walked out. It has been a few months now. She has cheered up and claims she doesn't remember our conversation. At this point, I don't know if I should feel good about being honest with my opinion and saying what I did, not putting on the show of "but you need to be strong," etc. To be honest, I do though. She really has been through hell. I won't be the reason she continues to live in pain. But yeah. I told my sick mother to do the unthinkable. I hate my special needs sister. I wish she didn't exist. I want nothing to do with her. I already know somebody's gonna call me a monster after reading this. I don't really care. Yes, I hate my special needs sister with a passion, and I wish she didn't exist. I don't even love her as family. In fact, I hate the notion that you have to love someone just because you're blood related. My older sister is special needs in that she's on the autism spectrum, but not exactly autistic. Doctors have never been able to give us a name for what she is, and just label her as having autism spectrum disorder. In the simplest terms, she has the mind of a 5-year-old in a 25-year-old body. I wish it was as simple as it sounds. Half the time, my sister is fine by her standards. The other half, she's a violent, terrifying, and life-destroying brat. If she gets angry, she gets angry. She's almost 300 pounds and taller than most people we know, and when she's angry she won't hesitate to toss tables or chairs at you, throw and shatter glass, or punch you repeatedly in the face like she's done to me. She screams and goes completely manic. When she goes to attack you, her eyes are just empty, and that might sound dramatic, but I'm not exaggerating. She's had the police called on her countless times at home and at school. She's attacked me, her caregiver, my grandfather. She's put a classmate in the hospital. And we've had to deal with this for 25 years. I fear for my life and safety when I have to stay home and watch her. If you're gonna say, have you seen a behavioralist? Or has she had therapy? Just don't bother. We have. She has. We've done everything. Nothing works. We don't know where she got this behavior from. My mom and dad are not abusive and have sacrificed a lot to meet my sister's needs. She didn't learn this behavior from anyone, and she can't unlearn it. It's just how she's wired. And I hate her for it. I know she can't control it. I know that's how she was born. But I'm done with it. She's made our lives a living hell, and I wish we could just dump her off in a home and forget about her. We're currently trying to put her in a home, but we're still on a waiting list. In the meantime, we're all just at our wits' end. She isn't as bad as she's been before, but when outbursts happen, they're beyond scary and intense. Living with her has made me into a depressed and anxious mess. A good portion of my senior year of high school, the worst she had ever been, was spent crying at night, crying at school, hiding in my choir teacher's office to cry and skipping other classes to do so. Wanting to kill myself was a daily thought. I'm surprised I graduated with a good enough GPA to get into art school. Aforementioned choir teacher kept telling me to let my mother take care of things and focus on school and just be young while I still can. Yeah, easier said than done. More importantly is what my sister has done to my mother. My mom is the only person my sister has never physically attacked. But what she has done is robbed her of a social life. She's made her contemplate suicide. She's given her a heart attack from stress. She's taken up almost every aspect of my mom's life. The only free time my mom has is weekends, since my dad takes her then. They're divorced, on good terms. I try so often to go have just me and her days, but they're so few and far between. My mom, in fact nobody, deserves this. She terrorizes us, our dogs, her teachers and classmates. And I'm fucking done with it. If it weren't for the fact that I basically get paid to watch her on days when her caregiver can't make it, or that I wanted to keep as much stress off my mom's shoulders as possible, I would have moved in with my dad a long time ago. But I'm struggling with money as an art student, and as shallow as it sounds, I need it. Today is one of those days, and I would be fine with it if I didn't learn literally this morning that I would have to stay home with her the whole day. I made plans last night to see a friend, but now I have to sit at home all day and hope I don't get assaulted just for being in the same room as her. Please note that this isn't a statement against all people with autism or ASD, in fact I support and am vocal about autism awareness groups. And I love helping out friends or coworkers who have trouble dealing with their own autistic family members and seek advice in me. I don't hate all autistic people, of course not. They deserve to be treated as equals. But in both the mild cases and the severe cases, like my sister's, the world needs to understand that it's one of the hardest things to live with. Sometimes the media sugarcoats it and I hate it. Despite all that, I still wish my sister didn't exist. I hate her for what she's done to us. We want our lives back, and as selfish as it sounds, we deserve it. I'm tired of crying on a weekly basis, and I'm tired of fearing for my safety. I just want to live. I'm so sorry this was really long, but I had a lot to get off my chest. If you made it this far, thank you. Lost my virginity to a masseuse at a massage parlor. Feeling quite guilty and ashamed of myself. I am a 25-year-old Canadian male. I lost my virginity to a masseuse. Up until then, I had been a virgin, never been intimate in any way whatsoever with a female, and had never known what sex felt like. I wanted so badly to know what it was like. I had only been masturbating to porn almost every day up until that point. Started masturbating maybe when I was 16 or 17. After debating the idea for 5 months and trying to avoid massage parlor or escort websites and diverting my thoughts about them whenever they occurred, I succumbed to my long-fought battle. I finally gathered up the courage to go, and lost my virginity to a masseuse last Sunday. I went back on Monday and had sex again with another masseuse. In both sessions, both BJ and sex were done with a condom. I feel so ashamed and guilty to have done what I have done. I have no one to reach out to in regards to this. I cannot focus on anything else because that thought keeps recurring and haunting me. I almost cried many times ever since and have lost my appetite for food. I feel like I shouldn't have done it. Yet, I was fighting very strong urges. I hope I can ward any such urges off if they recur soon. I lost all respect I had for myself. I don't want to be married to my wife anymore. But I'm too much of a coward to end it. Because I know the hell I would be put through by everyone we know. I know how vengeful she is and how she would destroy me. Much how she had destroyed my self-confidence over all these years. We get along fine, as long as I keep my place and don't do things that I know she doesn't approve of. Even if she does the same thing herself. She doesn't want to hear the truth, she wants to hear what she wants to hear. So we don't talk about our feelings or dreams or fantasies. We go through the motions. I am romantic with her, because I know how to be very romantic and passionate and have compassion. But with her there is no real feeling I get from it. I say the right things, and she sometimes does. But we both have tremendous resentment from past wrongs on both sides. She verbally tears me to pieces any time she feels hurt or gets mad. I go silent when I am hurt. I know people will say, well, if you were more of a man and took charge, she might be better. No, she doesn't let go of control. I barely make any real decisions because if I choose the wrong choice, she is going to pick at it until I change my mind to match what she wanted in the first place. Anyway, I really wish we were not married anymore. But I am a coward. Today I found out my expiration date. 4 years ago I was diagnosed with lung cancer. No treatment till I got enough money. When I got it, I started getting in and out of hospitals, chemo, CT scans and whatnot. I got sick of all that. I can't take it anymore. Today is my lucky day. The doc told me my cancer is terminal. At most 2 months left to live. I guess I don't have to spend any more money. I guess I won't be getting exhausted from treatments anymore. I guess I'll have to wait till I expire. Funny thing is, I wasn't even a smoker. Thanks for listening to Radio TTS. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell for more dark videos. Click the right box for the Confessions playlist. Let us know in the comments what you think about these stories.